This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So good morning, guys. So yesterday we seen a number of operations, right? Like push, fetch, pull, okay, and then revert, reset, and then sync. Okay, and then there are some other operations like cherry pick, stash, pull request, etc. That we do it after introducing it to some other scenarios basically. So after explaining those scenarios, getting to these commands will make sense basically. Okay, and we will also look into these branches and merging and version control policies today, and then we'll go here. Okay, so let me open my Visual Studio. So as we did yesterday, multi-developer environment, right? Like Sahul was doing it from Azure portal, uh, sorry, DevOps portal, for making some changes as a developer, and I am doing it same on my machine as another developer. Which is a multi environment, right? Multi-developer environment. So let's do a few more things like that. Okay. Sahul, you log into once you log into Azure Repos. Okay. Go to
I logged in.
your you logged in, right? Go to
Yeah.
any file, go to any file and make some
Oh,
changes. Okay. Similarly, what you done and you commit it actually. Okay. I will also
oh.
do few changes parallel. Okay. So I'm just making some changes for our lab purpose. Make in 3 4 files and then you can basically tell me once you're done. Done.
I'm doing just a second.
So what I am trying to show here is that multi-developer environment. See, right now I am Purna as a developer made few changes, and I can see the count of changes in the bottom right corner as well. 3 changes. This is kind of quick view basically. You can see here. Okay, 3 changes are there. Okay, and if I have to share these changes with other developers, obviously I need to push it. So how do I push it? I mean, either you right click and say right click on any file and say commit, or go to team explorer and click on changes. So, and when you click on changes, it will clearly show you how many changes are there and what files are having those changes. You clearly see this here. Okay, right? And then
Yeah, it's done.
it's done, right? Now,
Yeah.
okay. Now I'm going to make I'm going to push these changes to the remote repository, which means that I'm sharing these changes with other developers as well, so that other developers can take it. Okay. So let me put September 23 changes. Okay, so if I say commit all, it only commits to my local laptop or local git repository. Instead of that one, I'll go and say commit all and push. When I say commit all and push, it will push all my changes to my it will commit all my changes to my local repository, and it will push all the changes into remote repository as well. But what I want to push all my changes into remote repository, and I want to take the changes in the remote repository into my local laptop as well. That means whatever Sahu created, right, changes, I want those changes in my local repository as well. So it is a bi-directional basically. Okay, but
So now
before,
one question.
yeah,
Commit all
tell me.
will make changes for the local repository, right?
Correct.
Okay, commit
it
all
will it
push
will
will
save
push.
it will save into local repository, and it will
Okay,
create
commit
a
all and
version history as well. You will see a version
okay.
history. Okay. Hmm.
Commit all and push will save it in the local and push the changes into the remote.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
And then sync means, I told you, right, sync is bidirectional. It will
Yes,
do
yes.
push and it will do pull as well in one go.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was understood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as I told you, since you are a DevOps engineer, you tell the developers, if anyone is going to do any sync, right, it at any point of time, ask them to preview the changes. Otherwise they get into some problems. I mean, they need to revert, or something they have to do, they need to spend some time, but they might be in urgent, right? So first do the preview basically. Okay. When you say sync, right, how do you do a preview of the changes of the server? Fetch, right? Because fetch will not update your local, it will only show you the preview. You see, fetching remote commits means the changes on the server. So what changes are there on the server? You can see incoming commits. That means from the server. Dev test under 28 made changes to global.asx.cs, home controller.cs, and assembly info.cs. So if you want to see, you can double click and see them as well. You can see. If I close this Team Explorer, so you can see on the left is my local, on the right is the server. You can see he added some statement called result for result under home controller. On my left it is mine, I don't have it. So likewise you can inspect the changes, right? Let me close that. Okay, now go to Team Explorer again. So likewise ask them to inspect, and now when you go click on sync or click on changes and then go and commit all sync, everything is same. Now it is going to, now we see three incoming commits are there and one outgoing commit is there. Successfully synchronized incoming and outgoing commits means without any issues, I'm able to push my changes to the remote repository, and I'm able to pull all the changes from remote repository into my local. Okay, let's go and see home controller.cs. You see, this is the one done by Sahul, and September 24th changes are mine basically. Now, if you want to go and see here in portal, let's go and see. So you are a DevOps engineer, you remember these best practices. Ask them, hey, don't simply go and sync it. Always use fetch to preview the changes, so that what happens, he might be in a very critical development. If you go and sync it, it will update all his local changes as well. Then whatever the logic he created might not work. Okay, so it's better for them to sync it and understand it, what's happening basically. Okay. If I go to history, where is that? Home controller, right? History. Dev test, he did some changes. See, dev test underscore 20. You see this. This is for result, right? You can see here as well. This is side by side comparison. And come back. We talk about these arrows basically. after I mean basically on Monday, because if I tell you, it won't make sense basically. And if you see the content directly, you have both. This is a Sahu and these are mine, right? So now both remote repository and local repository are in sync basically, right? Okay, so this is all fine, but when multiple developers are working on the same code base, there are chances for merge conflicts. Merge conflicts means, see, everybody is using the same code base on their laptops, right, or working stations. Okay, now, Sahul, can you go and make a few more changes? Uh, Probably just do it in only two pages. One is in home controller and any other. Just make two more changes. So there is a concept called merge conflicts. So when the merge conflict will come, so let us say that Sahu added, let us say updated this line 13, which is a for test. Okay, and they added a few more lines in the same file. Okay, some additions and some modifications. And let us say Purna, myself as a developer, made some more changes in other lines, not in the same line. Okay, as long as all the developers are making changes in the code files like .cs or whatever it is in different lines, it will not make any merge conflict. I mean, whenever there is a change on the same line of code, then the merge conflict will occur, because your system cannot understand who is right, right? Because let us say Sahul written for test here, and in my local PC or in my local repository, probably I will go and change it to for dev. Okay, now system doesn't know. System only knows there is a change, but it doesn't know who is right, whether Purna is right or Sahul is right. That's where we need to resolve the merge conflicts. You got? Yeah. Hello? You are asking something. Kiran. You made changes,
Okay.
Sahul?
Yeah, I'm clear with this.
Just a second.
Okay. So if there are no conflicts, obviously it will do auto merge. Now, when I did a
Yes. Then
yeah, thank you. When I did a sync, right, what it did, it basically pulled all changes from local, remote to local, and pushed all changes from local to remote. See what happened. Basically, it is a merge, right? It merged the changes of remote repository with my local. So actually, merge happened, but it is a automatic merge because there are no conflicts. Now I'm going to create a conflict. That means merge cannot happen automatically. You need to resolve it. Okay, so if it is during the development like this, okay, you will help the people to do the merge conflicts, to do the merge conflict operations. But during during build and deployments, or during some pull request configuration, etc., in future, I will tell you, you will also do a merge conflicts, okay, on yourself as a DevOps engineer. But for the timing, whatever you are going to see is only for the developers, because you don't write the code, but you will help them to do the merge conflicts as well, all the operations. Okay. Now let me go ahead and see where Sahu done those changes. Sahu, where did you do? Sahul?
for test.
Okay, here, right?
Yeah.
So you added a line number merge conflict, right? After
Yeah.
24th. Okay. This is
That
in
one.
home controller, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Let me go to home controller. Uh, After this bracket. Okay. So I have for test and you have a 24th comparison. Okay. What I do? I'll go and development by Pune on I'll say 25th September. Okay. I made a conflict now basically. At line number 13, this is my change. If I tab on line number 13, this is the change on the server. Okay. Now similarly, I'll make a few more changes here, and then in some other files also I'll make some changes. That's it. Okay. So anyways, more than in one file we did it, right? It doesn't matter 2 or 10. It is more than one file. Okay. Now let me go ahead and go to Team Explorer, click on changes. Then you will see all the changes. Give some, you know, 24th September. And then say commit all and sync or push. You can do anything. Okay. Commit all and sync. Now you see this operation did not succeed. It basically on hold. What it is saying? Pull completed with conflicts in the your journeys repository. Resolve the conflicts. It is a hyperlink and commit the results. So what it is saying? Hey, there are some conflicts in the code. I mean, because multiple developers made the changes on the same code line. I can't resolve it because I don't know who is right, whose code is right. That's the essence here. So we have to do it manually, these conflicts. Okay, so both the developers need to sit and they have to discuss basically. Okay, who, I mean, which one to be taken, or both have to be taken. That's how the discussion go on, right? And you have the message here: a merge operation is in progress in the your journey repository. Resolve the conflicts and commit the results. Okay, there is only one conflict. That's what it is saying, and it is showing the preview as well. There are two incoming commits which Sahu done on the remote repository. Means he basically, he did it on the Visual Studio and pushed it, but since he doesn't have, I asked him to do it on the portal. But both are same, right? And I have one change which is outgoing commit. Now what I do, I'm going to resolve the conflict basically. Either you click on here resolve the conflicts, or you click on conflicts one, it will take you to the same window. Okay, click on conflicts. Now it is showing me it is only one conflict, right? That is in one file, so that's why it is showing one file only, home controller.cs. Okay, right now I selected it, and then I could see options to merge it actually. Okay, when I merge it, it will open basically, two windows, left side and right side, for the comparison. I compare it, means I means both the developers will compare it, and then will resolve the conflicts. Okay, that is one. The other one is simply, uh, take remote or keep local. When I said take remote, all the changes that I did it in this file will be gone, and the changes of the remote will come. Keep local means the remote changes will be gone and local changes will be there. But first let's do the merge conflict basically. Okay, say click on merge. So let me close this Team Explorer window. Okay, now what you have is a three windows here: left window, right window, and then bottom window. Left is now you see it is on the it is on the target. Okay, right is on my source basically. You can see local here. Okay, now the discussion happens. Now both the developer will say, because the conflicts are there. Okay, basically I am doing it, right? I'll call the developer. Let us say, hey, come here. I'm doing sync, but I see some merge conflicts. Let's see what is right or wrong. Now here see accept merge. If there are multiple, things, right? Multiple conflicts, it will show. Go to previous or go to next, etc. Or else you can simply go like this as well. Scroll down. Okay, now I'm at the first conflict. So I have for test on 24th comparison at line 13. Okay, on line 13 what I have for development by Purna on 25th September. In the bottom what is we have for test, because this is the old committed one. Okay, now we both will discuss. I mean, Sahul and me both think that hey, our both code lines should be there because this is required. I mean, Sahul says these changes are required for my logic, and I will say, hey, yeah, my change is also required for my logic. Then, if that is the case, they have to select both. You can select this checkbox. See, the moment I clicked on this checkbox of this change, you see those changes are previewed in the bottom. You see it here, right? And I want this change also. Select this. Now you see line number 15. I can see this change as well for development by Poorna on 25th. So now both changes are accepted. Okay, because we both agreed basically. Now the next step is you have to go to the next difference if it is there like this. Okay, I don't have any conflicts after that one. That's the reason it's simply selected because at this line Sahul did not make any change. It is empty. So like that, you can go and see all the differences, and you resolve like this by selecting these check boxes, which one is required, which one don't require. Once you do it, simply say accept much. Okay, now go to Team Explorer, please. So now you see conflicts. There are no remaining conflicts because I resolve the conflicts, but I need to approve it, manually. That operation is called as commit much. I need to do a commit. Okay, so let's go to home controller so that you can see the preview. We have both 24th September and by Purna. It is there on my laptop because I taken from server by doing this merge conflict. But I need, but my change is not available on the server. I need to commit it. Then only it will go to portal. So say commit merge. Give some comment. Okay, say commit staged and sync. You will see like this. We'll talk about this stage, okay? But it is nothing but whatever is staged here. Staging is nothing but while doing this operation, we done this merge, right? While doing this operation, after resolving the conflicts, the changes are still on my laptop. Means these are staged. It did not go to server. So keeping it for some time, I mean keeping it on our laptop during some operation is nothing but staged actually. Okay, but don't worry. When you say commit staged and sync, all are outgoing only because I already taken from the remote by doing that merge conflict. Now you see successfully synced incoming and outgoing commits because we resolve the conflicts. If I go here, let me refresh it. See, three lines 13, 14, 15. Merge conflict for development, and that is what you have. So these are very general scenarios every day that developer will come across basically. These merge changes. See, right now I shown you only one. Imagine if you have some 5 6 people in the team and doing writing 100 lines of code a day. There will be n number of merge conflicts basically. So you need to educate them on how to do it. Okay, and so I just seen the merge conflicts, right? You have another one, take remote or take local, keep local, right? Let's do that one as well. So I will just make a one change in any file just for a demonstration. Is this clear, Kiran and Sahul? Merge conflicts.
Yes, Purna.
So the question that you get is, hey, you are a DevOps engineer, how do you avoid how do you manage merge? Then you say you talk about all these things. Hey, you will get merge conflicts, but the best practice is that developers need to do a preview of the changes of the server, means in the remote repository, so that they will know whether they have to take it today or not, because they might be in a critical development. So when there are you know changes on the same line by different developers, you will get into merge conflicts, and in Visual Studio you can resolve it. So you can tell all that left, right, and the bottom pane, right? Selecting checkboxes, whatever is required. And all. Okay. Yeah. And since you will educate them like that, but you will also do the merges in portal as well. So whatever you can do from command prompt, from Visual Studio, can be possible on portal as well. All the facilities are there in all the places. Okay, because you are doing some Git operations from Visual Studio or from Azure Repos, but what is the underlying platform? Git only, right? This is just a UI wrapper on top of your commands. Whatever you are
I have done
doing
for
from
new.
you are done. Which
Yeah.
place you did it?
Not new. The for development by Purna on 25th September, I have modified that
Okay, on remote. You is this
on
right?
remote. I added S and
Okay,
above that line also.
on remote it, right? So what I do, I'll make some change here. Then I'll say on local. Okay, and I say on local, and I'll make one more change here as well on local. Okay, now we have the merge config. Let me go ahead and do it. Click on changes, or you can directly click on sync as well, as I told you, right? Test merges. It is only one file I have. Commit all and sync. It will give me a conflict now. Same thing, pull completed with conflicts. Okay, but it did not update you see it is showing everything here because I opened it. Okay, now resolve the conflicts, select the file. Okay, now instead of resolving the conflicts, what you thinking? Hey, whatever the I mean that other guy might have told you, hey, okay, you can you don't need to review it, you can keep your local changes, you don't need my changes. That's what he may tell you. Okay, then at that you can see here as well. Okay, local changes and remote changes, you see both are shown here as a preview basically. So then what I do, I'll keep my local changes. That okay, keep local. So I said keep local, then you see here local, local, of course these are in my laptop. Here also local. Say commit much. So I said keep local. That means I overridden the changes on the server. If I go to here, now you have remote, but I overridden these changes. I refreshed it. You see, you got the local. Earlier we resolved it. We taken both the changes. Now I overridden the remote changes with the local changes. Got it? That is what to keep local. When you say take remote, it will override your local changes, both on the server and the local repository. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So that's how you can understand. Okay, or practice as well. Okay, that's good. I mean, so far we done some of these important things, and without this, no advanced operations can be done, right? I mean, because if you are doing some advanced, basically all those advanced operations are based on the some basic foundations. It's like a grammar, right? You need to learn letters before you go and do grammar, right? So let me close these things. Okay, see why we are doing all this code development, right? This is an application development. Obviously these guys have to go and deploy this code in some servers so that the end users will be able to log in and utilize the functionality. That's the purpose, right? Okay, let us think now. We are getting into the concepts of branches basically. So let's try to understand uh, what are the branches, why do we need them, what are the different strategies that are available in branching. So you call it as a branching strategies. Okay, guys, branching strategies will be defined by your architect and devops engineer and devops architect and project manager. It's a combination effort basically. Everyone has to sit together and trying to we need to understand how the team dynamics work, and based on many scenarios we basically define some strategies. But before we getting into the branching strategy itself, let's understand what are branches. Okay, that's very important. Okay, now I have only one branch, right? That is master. In
Purna,
master branch, yeah,
I have a doubt.
yeah,
Uh, can you open that your DevOps
portal.
dev.azure portal?
Okay, you can say DevOps portal. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, DevOps.
Hmm.
Here, from in this screen, there is like kind of create a pull request. So from this
Ah,
also I mean,
no,
DevOps
no.
engineer normally does, or like he will never
No,
do.
I tell you. Okay, okay. Pull request is different from pull. Okay, pull request is one
Okay,
single word actually, one single word. But
okay,
we follow the grammar. That's why they given pull space request basically. Okay, this is not
okay,
equivalent to your pull command.
okay,
Okay, pull request is for the code review mechanism. In earlier, right, before Git came into picture. Okay, when you are using TFS, etc., how people do the code review? So once a developer finishes his coding, right, he will ask his lead, right, "Hey, I'm done with my changes. Please do the code review." Then what happens? Your lead will sit with you at your laptop, and he will go and inspect all the code changes. Right? That is one type of code review used to happen. The other one is there were many utilities developed where from the TFS window itself in your Visual Studio you can make a code review request, but that is a add-on basically. When you request for a code review, an email will be sent to your lead. That lead will take that code and will review and approve it. That is another way. So when Git came into picture, because code review is a very important mechanism, right? They prepared a process. Basically they understood all these manual activities, they created a process. That process is called pull request. So pull
okay,
request is for the code automated code review mechanism. Of course we have to configure it, and DevOps engineer plays a critical role in configuring the pull request for any project. Okay.
okay. That will
Yeah.
be taught later.
Yes, yes. Once you finish this branches, right?
Okay,
We'll go to the pull request, because pull request is not just for one branch actually. Okay.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's an automated code review mechanism in Git-based source control management systems. It can be right now we are using Azure Repos, but internal platform is Git. And if you go and use Bitbucket, that is from Atlassian company, but internal platform is your Git only. Like that, there are many other companies, but for everyone, underlying platform is Git. Everybody
Good.
created their own UI to make it simpler. That's it. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So now coming back to the branches. Right now I have only one branch. So as I told you, Git basically creates a default branch with the name called master. So why do I need a more branches? So first understand. So branch is nothing but a copy. Copy of your code. Like the way. If you go to, so what you do basically, if you go to any file, so you create some content. Let's say think that this is your created for your journeys, and you may keep all the documents like some ppt etc here, right? We're getting some document. I'm just talking some documentation, let us say some text file. Okay, and you make some blah blah changes, right? Okay, and save it. Like this you will have many things. Okay, but if you this is not related to coding, right? I'm just giving the scenario. Let us say your manager come and ask you to make some changes. Okay, uh, manager changes, and you may need to write some 100 200 text here, lines of information, but you are not done with your changes. What happens? What you do basically, you make a copy of it, right? You make a copy of it, the old one, and then you start working on this, isn't it? That's how you go in general. So it is like This is during the, I mean, you are doing something, but in between your manager come and ask you to make few more changes, but these changes are also important, but you are not done with your verification basically. So you immediately need to give that one. So what you do, you go and delete some of these things and do your manager changes, right? And give this file to your manager, isn't it? Right, this is how we do. You make a copy of the files, okay? Or sometimes you make a copy of backup of the entire folder itself, isn't it? This is how you manage your versioning, or copy of your files to do some other thing basically in between. So but in coding, what is the scenario here for branches? Right now I have only one branch here, main branch, and I need to deploy to a server for testing, right? So then what devops engineer will do, he will go and take this, build it and deploy the artifacts into server, and they will, I mean, testers will keep on testing that one. While they are testing it, you will not stop development, right? You will also working on some changes. Let us say sprint 1 changes are delivered, the testers are testing it. While testers are testing sprint 1 changes, sprint 2 development is going on, right? Okay. So after a couple of days, probably testers find some issues in the, code deployed, and they create a bug. When they create a bug, you have to, you have to fix that bug and give the code again. But what happens, let us say I mean, you started doing development, right? Like this. Okay, like this you started doing the development, you already written 100 some 100 lines of code. Now this guy and ask you, tester created a bug and you need to fix that bug and deploy it again. But the problem is that you already made 100 lines of code, okay? uh, then again you have to create a bug fix code as well. It could be in the same file, it could be in other files, right? Bug fix code. Now this is not tested, whatever you written is not tested. Even you are not comfortable changing this code with other people, then what you do, you basically comment these things. See, if these are in a one single file, that is okay, you will comment it and give the bug fix code. But if you are having hundreds of lines of code across multiple files, you don't even remember basically what you did. And of course you may say, hey, you can go and preview the changes and go ahead and comment them, right? That is all okay, but that is a bad practice basically. Imagine if you have a, 5 6 developers are working on it, how it works? No, right? It is a time taking process. You will end up commenting and uncommenting all the spells. It may take 5 6 hours even just for commenting, isn't it? And your work is also stopped. When you uncommenting it again, you have to do another 5 6 hours or 3 4 hours. It's all time waste. So that's to avoid such kind of scenarios, to make your bug fixing process and the development process separate. I mean, all these source control management platforms provided you a way of creating branches. Branches means I do all my development in the dev branch, okay? uh, and I keep basically master branch, right? We don't make any changes basically. Master branch is only for fully working solution. In general, we create a one branch from the master and we name it as a dev or development, whatever it is. You can give any name, but in general, you use two words, dev or development. So we create a branch out of this one and start working on that branch actually for the developers. And all the deployment, like build and deployments, will happen from the master branch. So I'm not talking with respect to Visual Studio, with respect to the DevOps basically on the portal. So generally, as a DevOps engineer, if I have to deploy code, I don't deploy code from the Visual Studio, right? I will go to DevOps portal. I'll take, so all the code is here in different branches. I'll go to pipelines and start creating a pipeline, CI/CD pipelines, not from the Visual Studio, because everybody's code is available on the server, remote repository, not on the local repository, right? At any point of time, your remote will have each and everybody's code. So to enable the developers to do the bug fixing and development parallelly, so that the releases can happen faster. Okay, for all these benefits, the branches concept has evolved. Okay, let me undo this. I don't want to do this. Okay, you can do undo, right click and say undo. Are you sure you want to undo? Yes, all these changes have gone. Okay, so how do you create a branches? Okay, not everyone create a branch basically. Only the project administrators and the organization administrators can do that one. So as a DevOps engineer, you can do it. Okay, so you don't do it in the Visual Studio, right? You do it in the server, I mean from the portal. So from the master, see, so far I just explained it on the master basically, but development don't happen on the master branch, as I told you. So how do you create a branch? Either you can go to the branches and you click on a new branch. This is one way. The other way is wherever you are generally you will be here basically in the files. You have this master, go ahead and create a new branch. Whatever you do, it will go to the same window. Okay, so if you click on a new branch, this is the window it will open. Whether you are here or here, it will be here basically. Okay, I'm creating a branch for my development people. I'll say dev. And okay, I need to, so when you create a folder, it will be empty, right? But when you make a copy of your folder, it will get all the contents as well of your old folder, right? Similarly, I'm creating a branch, but this branch is based on the master branch basically. Okay, based on the master branch. That means once I click on create, all the content that is there in the master branch will be copied to dev branch. As it means you are making another copy of your master branch, but the changes that you're going to make to dev will not affect master or vice versa. So now DevOps engineer will go ahead and use master branch for build and deployments, and developers will go and do the development in the dev branch. Okay, you will not conflict actually. Okay, in some cases people go and so there is a bug to be fixed, right? What these developers will do, they basically do go and make the changes in the master branch and submit it basically and push it. Then the DevOps engineer will go ahead and build and deploy code to the server. So when you are having dev branch and master branch, you call it as a there is a name for this one basically. For this strategy, that is a development isolation strategy. Okay, you call it as a, many people don't know it guys, so but don't worry. Development isolation branching strategy. This is very old basically. Okay, that means you will have master branch and dev branch, that's it. And in some people they call master as a trunk as well. Okay, whether it is a trunk or master, it is a master basically. Okay, create. If I open dev branch, right, click on dev, you see the same code whatever is in the master, because it's a copy of your master. Now you will tell the developer, guys, I created a development branch with name called dev, please go ahead and use it for your development. Okay, now the developer will go and basically take it. How do they take it? If it is a code in the same branch, you know how to do it: push, pull, sync. That is what you do. In the team explorer, you will go and click on changes and you do all that stuff. But if it is a but the branch is different, right? It is another version of your master. If it is a code, you will do changes. But I created a branch, it will not show the branch, right? It will only show the code changes here when you say sync. But how do you get the branch created in the remote repository by the DevOps engineer to the local. Very simple. In the bottom right corner, I shown it, right? You have the branch name and your remote repository name, and it will show the changes, these numbers. Now click on the master, then you will get this menu. So you will have the new branch, manage branches. New branch means because I'm a administrator, right? I can create a branch from Visual Studio as well. But for other people, it will be grayed out. Okay. Manage branch, I can manage the branches. And this is where you see fetch, pull, push. Whatever these operations are available for your code as well, right? Same is available for your branches as well. If I have to pull the branch that is created in the remote repository, I just simply need to click on pull. If I have to push the branch created in my local repository, I have to say push basically. So first click on manage branches. So when you click on manage branches, these are the things you see, right? Main means when we created the remote repository, it basically created a main branch, but it is empty. Okay. Master is the one which is active, right? Remote slash origin, you have two sections here. Your journeys, this is your local repositories. Okay. It is your repository. You have this master highlighted, means you are doing changes in the master branch in your local repository, it is highlighted. And you have another section, remote slash origin, that means all the branches that are available on the server basically. Right now your dev is not being visible here because I haven't pulled the changes, right? That's why it is not showing the remote branch here. So how do I pull it? Either sorry, you here, right? You go and say pull. When I pulled it, see it is pulling the, now it pull the dev branch here. Okay. If I have to see the dev branch, you can double click this. When I did a double click, what happened? You see the dev branch in local as well. You see now dev branch is highlighted. You can see it, right, guys? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Varna.
Yeah. So now dev is highlighted. That means, hey, I pull the changes from the server. Also, I pointed my Visual Studio to the dev branch, not to the master branch. Okay. So you just need to double click it. So double clicking process is called checkout basically. So you basically just did a checkout of this branch. Means you taken it to your local and started working on it. Now in the bottom also you see my Visual Studio is pointed to dev. Now whatever the changes I am doing is happening only in the dev branch, not to the master. And if I want to switch between the branches, it is very simple. Now let us say go to manage branches, and if I want to switch to master branch and make changes, all I need to do is simply click on master. That's it. Now in the bottom you see my Visual Studio is pointed to master. Let's quickly do a couple of changes. Let's say that switch to dev branch. You need to instruct the developers all these things. Okay. Click on dev branch. I'll go and make some change. Okay. Let's say we'll take some other file, filter config. Okay. Let's say that's it. Branching changes, and then let me go ahead and commit. You will come here, dev changes. I'll say sync. So I made changes, right? Where these changes are happening, dev, not in the master. Let's go and it's in the which file? It's in the filter config. Let's go and refresh it. You are in the dev branch itself in the remote. Okay, expand this, or you can see the history as well. When you see history, one commit is made. And since I know it, I'm directly going there. It is done in the controller, not controllers,
Abstract.
app start, and then filter config, dev changes. So branching changes is my change, right? Okay, it is there. And now if I go to the other one, go to files, switch back to master here, and you can see the history, right? The history is 734, means that that commit is not available in your master. Basically, just for verification, for only one time you can see that. Sorry, filter config, right? Yeah, it is also ODC. Where is this filter config? Branching changes, right? uh, if I go to content, you see that branching changes is not here, right? So that means your visuals today is pointed to dev branch. That's why your changes are happening only in the dev branch of your local and remote as well. This is how developers can seamlessly switch between different branches to make their life easier, basically, to work on some bug fixes or to work on the development parallelly without making any copies of the code. Basically, copies of code, like generally what people do, they make a copy of the entire code base. Even now also developers do that. If they need to make some changes, they are worried basically what happens, etc. What they do, they simply make a copy of their entire code base in the folder, right? Their repos on your it is in C drive, right? C drive can go directly from here, right? They will make a copy of this entire one. That's what developers do, like this, right? This is not required when you are using, Visual Studio. People are worried because they don't know the all the uh, tips and tricks. Basically, it is already is in use. That's what it is saying. Okay, they don't know all these operations and all the best practices. They do that copy. You don't need to make any copy when you know all these branching concepts. Since now you know some branches, what is the advantage of branch? What we do, next Monday we will take a couple of scenarios and we'll apply some more commands on top of these branches. Once you are comfortable with those branches on Monday, we will get into the branching strategies. There are many scenarios. For each scenario, there will be a strategy. Okay. Right now, I have. So I am right now also I am in a one branching strategy, that is a development isolation branching strategy. Okay, but this is useful for the small teams like 2 3 people, and for people who are having one or two releases. Let us say only one release or two releases. For such kind of scenarios, this development isolation branch will be helpful. But if you are having more than one release, let us say 3 releases, 4 releases for your application development, and you are having more people working on this, then this development isolation branch will not helpful. You need to go to some other branching strategy. When you're working on a microservices based development, your team, then we need to follow some other branching strategy. Why we need to follow different branching strategies? To make your development faster. That means if you don't follow a proper branching strategy, right, you will get into a hell number of merge conflicts. Every day people have to deal with merge conflicts. You don't believe in me, there are many teams who spends at least 3 4 hours every day to resolve the merge conflicts rather than the actual content, actual coding. The reason, they don't follow the proper branching strategy. When you follow proper branching strategy, your merge conflicts will be reduced. So we'll talk about those scenarios by action on Monday and Tuesday. Okay.
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 So
One
those are
more
very
thing.
important as a for you as a DevOps engineer, the strategies, etc. Okay.
Can you go
Yes, Kiran,
to
you are asking me.
work
Yeah.
items?
Which one?
Work items.
Work items. Okay. In the boards, you mean to say? Okay.
Yeah, in the box.
Okay,
choose any
I'm
work
in the work.
item, choose the second work
Okay,
item that is assigned to me.
okay, yes.
Here we see that the activity is not defined in the drop-down list.
Yeah, you
Now,
remember. You remember we basically applied
Mighty
some
like
custom
customized
control.
template.
I did not read all that stuff. Okay, and I simply applied it. It screwed my basically. I did not read all the documentation. You remember? We need to read the documentation and apply it actually. That's where we made some mistake. That's why I was suggesting, hey, generally we don't apply like this. We create one test organization for the lab purpose. We will test all the any extensions or any modifications. Let us say you need to do some configuration change. You cannot simply do it on the live, right? If you do it on the live, many people are affected. So basically create a lab and do all the changes. You are happy. Similar to the coding, right? Even coders, I mean, developers also do the same thing, right? That's the reason we have different branches. First, you do the changes in the development branch and do all your testing. Once you are happy, then move those code changes in the dev branch into master so that your DevOps engineer will take those changes and deploy for the testing basically. But as what I'm telling, this is not enough for the bigger teams. There are many other strategies. Similarly, what I did here, I did not consider all the best practices when I'm applying that custom control. I simply applied it in the live environment and I got screwed basically. Now,
Okay,
uh, yeah, that's the reason it is showing. Okay,
okay,
but you don't.
uh,
But you don't. Yeah, tell
okay.
me.
The other thing is you just created a new dev branch, right?
Correct.
Can you give
In
us
the
access
portal.
on?
In the portal, you are already
Yeah.
there, right? Go to project
No, I
settings.
can't see the
Okay.
branch at my end.
Okay. Go to the branch. So I'm in the project settings. Okay. Go to teams. Uh, okay. I think we did not touch upon the policies. Basically, your permissions will be in the repositories. Click on the repositories. Okay. Uh, your journeys. Uh, Come back. I will check now itself. So securities. Okay. When you come to security, you will come to the same page. Where you have contributors. Okay. Contributors can pull the he can create a branch, he can create a repository. He cannot create a repository. You see, not set basically. Create a branch is there. Okay. Now you should be a part of this contributor group. If you are part of this contributor group, then that means you should be able to do all these things. Okay. Now if I go to my teams, okay, in which you are not here. Okay, okay, okay,
I think
only
you need access on.
I given only two, right? Now I can put you anywhere. It doesn't matter, right? It is only for testing. Now why this is
Can you try the three dots on the right?
yeah, no, no, no. Somehow it did
It's
not enable. You see, I did not do anything. I just refreshed it. Okay, click on add. And then oh, this is the issue we faced it, right? We are not able to add it from here. Okay, but there are ways to add it. Okay, what you do? Uh, there are many ways to add it. Okay, open this. Sorry, go to 1 second. I added it in a different okay. Settings, team configuration, not the team configuration. I added Sahu in different way. Permissions, okay, contributors, okay, and members, okay, and then Kiran,
Yeah.
Kiran, member of You're basically at online reservation system. Go and add group. Uh, what is this? Yeah. So there was some issue. I don't know why it is happening. I'm not able to add you directly to the group. Okay. I was able to add you when I'm creating the team, but after that I'm not able to add basically. So I found this way rather than going that way. What I did, I came to your name and you have the member of basically to what groups you are member of. I added you to this group basically. Now if I go to teams, right, you will be there. DB dev, right? Instead of going straight, I went ahead in a different way basically. Okay. Can you see now?
Yeah, I'm checking. Um, no, I still don't see. Okay, 1 minute.
You should be having now.
I can see only main branch.
Dev also should
Sure.
be there because I added you to the entire repository.
Yeah, but I can't see that at my end.
No,
Okay.
we need to select that your journeys, right?
You have
To
to
see
select
the
Dev
master
journey.
in the because in the
Yeah,
No,
top
not here.
main branch is
Not
only for
here.
online.
yeah, I can see now.
Right? Yeah. So I
Yeah.
added you to the group. That's why you're able to see that actually. Okay. So now you see,
Okay.
right? You have to check the permissions, contributors, etc. Right? Uh, so now we are dealing with the repositories. Go to the repositories. I mean, check the security. That's where you see all the people. Go and read all these things basically. I mean, if you can't remember it every day, all right, one way, right? If you read it at least one time every day, by the time you complete it, right, everything will be in your brain actually. Okay, just go and read every day one time. That's it. It hardly takes 1 or 2 minutes, not more than that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I saw that one contributor requires all these, can do all these things. Then okay, I felt that okay, you need to be a part of contributor. Okay. Then I went and tried to get, because of some I mean issue, I'm not able to add it. That's where I went to the user, and from the user I went to that property member of, and then added you there basically. I don't know. I'm still don't understand why it is not happening here. I try to do some research, but no one is having this issue basically.
Okay.
Okay. But anyways, we have the alternative. That's the reason I went to the username and added. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it, guys, for that today. Go ahead and do your you know practice. We will get into those advanced branching strategies, and we have few more things that I have to explain. So I have to explain by scenario. If you don't know the scenario, right, you really don't understand where to apply this basically. Okay. We'll do it in the next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Okay
guys.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. So what you do, I mean, Kiran, when you are working, right, practicing, I would say both you and Sahul or Lohit, right, do it in a multi environment. That will help you basically. So all you guys can do it parallelly. I know it's very difficult to match the timings, but this is my advice. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.